IPL presents Cricbuzz Live. So at the end, the boys from Punjab were not able to paint the town of Chennai red. It very much stays yellow, and it looked for the longest time as if they had things under control, but for some reason they decided to leave all their eggs in the last 3-over basket, and it proved to be fatal in the end as far as that match was concerned. Let me bring my guests into it, both of whom were leaning towards yellow, neither sitting on the MPL Super Couch because we're calling it a tie, gentlemen, for both of you get the honours jointly. But you'll have to say, Michael, with the 15th and 16th overs, one each from Harbhajan and Tahir, they did well to keep it till then, but they just showed no intent at that point.
Yeah, I think the Kings 11 got lost in last night's game. I think they felt that Dre Russ was going to come in for them as well. It's not the case. You can't rely on the last few overs to account for so many. When you've chased nicely, that partnership was terrific, going 2 early wickets with Chris Gale going so quickly at the start. Then Agarwal, your friend who you said that was going to win them the game, he came out and chipped one in the air second ball, and then all of a sudden the partnership was fantastic. And then around the 12th over, it just started to just get a little bit pedestrian-like. It was almost as if they were waiting for those last few overs. I think they were looking at the spin, clearly felt that the spin was going to be the problem, so they thought, you know what, we'll knock the spinners around, don't take too many risks. And they gambled too much on those last 3 overs. You can't, against particularly a team like Chennai, particularly on a wicket like that, which is so slow, knowing that a new batsman coming out there was going to make it, you know, it's going to be so difficult for them. They had to just gamble that little bit sooner. They left it too late.
The difference, again, you talked about the Dre Russ game, was that they didn't really have an option. They were losing wickets and the run rate hence was getting out of reach. And it was a big total to chase with in the first place. But here, it was in their hands. They hadn't lost wickets. The partnership was there, but they sort of were scoring at about 120, 130 instead of one batsman going maybe at 150.
So it's a very simple equation. If you're scoring 160 in 120 balls is a strike rate of 133. Who do you expect to exceed that strike rate? Because some will fall below it. The people who have to exceed the strike rate are the people who are set in, who have got enough balls in. The two guys who are in, that's Rahul at 55 or 47, his strike rate is 117. Sarfraz, who's 67 or 59, his strike rate is 113. So the guys who you expect to have a higher strike rate, who's the guys who are going to complete the game for you, the guys who have in the best touch, if their strike rate is not better, you're never going to cross the line. Because these guys have seen the maximum ball, they're seeing it best. And there was clearly a point at some point where one of them had to take a chance, and it was like, you first, you first, you first, you go after the spin. No, you go. It's your chance first. And I think somewhere there they lost it. And it's a pity. And
it's the spin we talked about. I mean, the two Ashwins had it under control, 46 in their 8 overs. Here they had 3 spinners. Imagine if those guys had Mujibur Rahman, 3 spinners. Jadeja didn't bowl out of his skin, but he still bowled at a runner ball, 4 overs for 24. And have a look at Imran Tahir plus Harbhajan Singh. That really made the difference, 37 in their 8 overs.
Yeah, well, I look at the 160, and you know, if you look at the way that Kings batted on that, and particularly against Jadeja, against Tahir, against Harbhajan Singh, it probably was about a 145 pitch. And I'm pretty sure if the Kings are honest with themselves, you know, as a management, as a captain and as a coach, you know, I think they got the wrong team. They needed Mujeeb. If Mujeeb would have played, potentially, you never know, hindsight's wonderful, but you would have felt that probably the Kings wouldn't have been chasing 160, it probably would have been around that 145, and then the game would have been a different story, I would think, chasing that kind of target. So selection they didn't get right, tactics weren't quite there, and with the bat in hand they just left it a little bit too late.
Also interesting, Kuglin went for 27 in his first 2 overs. He was looking all over the place, he was looking all over the shop. Many other captains would have panicked at that point in time, would have said, okay, let me just flip in a couple of overs of, they had options. Get Kedar Yadav to bowl a couple of overs, or to get Raina in, and then keep Tahir for the end, or keep Jadeja for the end and ask him to dart it in. He was fine. He left those 2, and and after that what's happened is now Scott Kuglin has complete confidence. So he went for 27 in his first 2, he went for 11 in his last 2. And that is, again, in terms of captaincy, not only have you won a match, you've got a player who is potentially unsettled. If you had left Kuglin with those 2 overs and not bowled him after that, his confidence would have been low. You've restored his confidence as well. He's managed to do everything right.
The key to captaincy for me is captaincy, a lot of the time, is almost self-explanatory. It's done for you. And you see captains out in the middle have conversations with many players. That's fine. I was the same. But when the pressure's on and it's the last few overs, you've got to take control. It's you. It's you and the bowler, and you've got to be able to manoeuvre the field, put the fielders in the right positions to put the angles in your favour. And that's exactly what MS Dhoni does. When it comes to the last 3 or 4 overs, you just know that he's in charge. He's just moving players around the outfield, just a little bit. He's like paddling. It's like working on the motorways, isn't he? Just paddling away, just kind of shifting cars left and right. And that's exactly what he does. And go back to last night, I don't see enough from that from Virat. I know it's like I'm picking on Virat, but that's what captains do. When the pressure's on, they go, okay, I've had your advice earlier on in the day, now it's time to win the game. I've got to take responsibility. I've got to make the decisions with the bowler. I've got to know exactly what everything is around for us to win the game. And that's what MS Dhoni does when the pressure's on.
And just add to the fact that he was responsible for the fact that they scored 44 in their last 3 overs, and while he was controlling things in the field, the opposition scored 23 in their last 3 overs. That makes the difference in the game, and that's why the Chennai Super Kings yet again have got over the line. But the man responsible with the ball in hand at the very start, getting rid of Chris Gale, getting rid of Mayank Agarwal, a double wicket maiden to start with, and he is our MPL hero of the match, none other than Harbhajan Singh. 4 overs, 2 for 70, not just that first magical over, but kept it on through his spell, and at times looked unplayable, but horses for courses.
Absolutely, and you know one of the things that Harbhajan does very early, especially on pitches that turn a bit, is that he'll really let one rip early. And why does he do that? He also does that to put doubt into the batsman's mind. That okay, look, this pitch is really turning. So he puts in what you call an spinner's effort ball there. And the interesting thing is, look at this guy. This is a guy who's Dhoni's actually dropped for a match and said, okay, you don't need to play this match, sit there. But he wouldn't be telling him you're dropped. He'll say, look, you rest. We don't need you for this one. And he comes back and he's just as good.
Yeah, and what he does sometimes is he just bowls that spinning delivery just a little bit wider, knowing that the wider you go, there's obviously more footholds. So he bowls it a little bit wider, and then it spins, and it spins sharp. And as a batsman, you're looking at, oh, it's spinning this pitch. Obviously, the straighter that he comes, it's on what I call the posh bit. You know, there's not as much of the rough been developed because the bowlers aren't allowed to come onto it, and it won't spin as much. But he's also clever in the way that he rotates the seam. You know, he's got that 45-degree angle seam, which did for Chris Gale, a bit wider, gets overspin and then spin. And then the one that he did for Agarwal's lovely because it's kind of more of a side spinner, which just went on with the arm, which was wonderful skill, wonderful thinking. It's just experience. He's got all the experience. He's been playing forever. He played against me in 2002, I think it was.
He did?
Yeah, he did.
He's been playing 20-odd years. He should retire.
One more I'm going to throw at you before we go, and go away from this match, that is, MS Dhoni done everything right, but had Sarfaraz, say, gone on to make an 80 and they won the game, would he have been thinking back at that DRS that he didn't take?
Yeah, probably, yeah, but
it's called the Dhoni review system.
Yeah, I mean, there's something about those bails at the stadium, because Dhoni was bowled in the previous game and the bells didn't come off, so maybe someone wants to check those bells, that there's no glue on top of them. Look, you can say anything in hindsight, what ifs and if, buts and maybes. The fact is, Dhoni guided his team to another, what was a close game for quite a few overs. It looked like it was going to go to the wire, and then you get down to that last over, and because of the way that he's manoeuvred his bowlers, the confidence that he gives his players to believe that they can deliver under the pressure, is the difference between winning and losing.
I suspect that our MPL super team hero would probably not just have had Bajaj in his team, but made him captain as well. I didn't have enough time to stick him in. I actually had Mujibur Rahman, and since I was hosting the show, couldn't really fiddle with my team. But who is our winner? Our MPL super team hero? It's Sadiq Dange with 370.5. Now that's
pretty good. That's
a pretty reasonable score. And once again, I think they actually, I wonder if we choose them based on their photographs that they send us. Because of deadly shades.
Yeah,
you don't wear dark glasses, you don't get in.
He had some serious sideburns going on as well.
Brilliant. There's another game, of course, to come on this Super Saturday doubleheader, and that is the Sunrisers Hyderabad at home against the Mumbai Indians. And we said 3 out of the 4 teams playing today were in the top 4, so we've seen how good the Sunrisers are at home. They've won the toss, asked Mumbai to bat first, and they are unchanged. They'd like to keep that winning combination, but the Mumbai Indians have made 2 key changes. One of them is Yuvraj Singh has been rested, and Ishan Kishan has come into the team, and Alzari Joseph, he's a talented player, makes his first entry in place of Lasith Malinga, who's not back yet. Jason Behrendorff holds on to his place.
I like this team. This is a team for the future. Ishan Kishan is a young bat who did really well for them last year. I'm glad he's getting a middle order chance. Maybe they also realize that Yuvraj towards the end of the tournament might tire. In any case, Alzarri Joseph is just a straight swap for Lasith Malinga. You don't have Malinga, you need somebody else who's got... And he's a slightly different kind of bowler than Malinga. Nobody's a kind of bowler like Malinga is, but I think it's a positive option. Again, a decent fast bowler, and they've got enough spin, they've got enough options. I think this team is good for me. Bombay has in the past tinkered more than they need to. They haven't in this case. These are natural choices.
One of many products coming out of the under-19 West Indies championship winning team led by Shimron Hetmeyer, and also thrived in the Caribbean Premier League in the last couple of years. So he's really come of age, Alzarri Joseph, and of course in Test cricket.
Yeah, I saw a lot of him against England recently in the Test series that the West Indies won. He's quick, he bowls at a good pace. He's got, a calm head on his shoulders as well. So I met him the other day. I went to the game at the Wankhede Stadium and managed to just get a few tickets from the hotel, and he was there. And I had a good chat with him. He was in good spirits, but I'm glad to see Ishan Kishan back in the side. I just think he's one of those cricketers that is a little bit wild. I think he likes to party a bit as well. I think he's one of those young chaps that has not quite probably matured as the coach would have hoped at this stage, but he's got the gift. He's got the gift to be able to play the game, and I think it's right that they bring him back in. Yuvraj, whether he's rested, whether he's been left out, however many more years Yuvraj can play, will this be his last year? We're not too sure, but I think they've made the right call at the right time to bring the young player back into the middle and just give him a couple of opportunities. And if Yuvraj comes back in a couple of games, he'll be rested for the better as well. So I think it's smart tactics by the Mumbai Indians.
Yeah, I did mention Alzarri Joseph. Ishan Kishan was also in that
same under-19
under-19 tournament, and we were talking about various things that he likes to do. I remember seeing him once at the end of a T20 Mumbai game. And have you ever seen bottle flips? You know what the bottle flip is? We've got to flip and get the bottle standing straight.
Yeah.
He not only loves doing that, I saw him do 12 in a row.
12 in a row.
He just kept doing that.
That's a serious talent.
Yeah.
That is a serious talent.
And that too while he was waiting to pick up a Man of the Match award.
It's like Sachin. Any game that Sachin plays, he has to win. So Sachin at one time, if you remember, there's an ancient game, one of the earliest mobile phone games was a game called Snake, where you kept it. He could play the snake until it went on and on and on and on, and Sachin had to be the best at it. So every time in the airport, he'd spend hours playing snake. And sometimes that's it with cricketers. If they're competitive, whatever it is, they'll be competitive at it.
The bottle game was a craze in the UK. And the amount of time I went to watch, my little boy was playing junior cricket about 3 years ago when the craze was around. And I always remember watching the under-11s and thinking, come on, you should be all watching the game. And they were not interested in the game. They weren't bothered if they got out because they could just flick the bottles. And you say, the game's got, whoa, I'm on 5. I'm on 5, 6. Absolutely drove me
Ishan Kishan, world champion in bottle flipping. Yeah, it's a pity now we can't play Snake anymore because we're all on our smartphones getting our MPL super teams in there, except of course when you're in the middle of a show and you can't. Can I change my team?
No, what's happened now?
No, I wanted to get Alzarri Joseph in. Actually, I want to get Ishan Kishan in, but never mind. All of you can still do it. Not all of you are hosting shows, so all of you can get in there. Get that MPL app downloaded and get your super teams in. Lots of prizes to be won, and of course your chance to be the MPL Super Team Hero, which will be mentioned right here on MPL Presents Cricbuzz Live. Get a photograph with sunglasses on, you stand a better chance of winning. Never mind what team you've put in there. Well, in terms of Sunrisers Hyderabad, they've got an unchanged lineup, but we've got some interesting numbers to throw at you as far as the Mumbai Indians are concerned. Against the Sunrisers, their record hasn't been great, and this is what it's been since 2016, especially in their batting department. Have a look at those scores. We haven't even seen anything in excess of 160, and as you can see, they've lost more than they've won.
Yeah, sometimes you just have teams, don't you, that just have the wool over your eyes, but the Sunrisers for me are such a well-oiled unit that they'll make it difficult for the Mumbai Indians. I'm interested to see how the Mumbai Indians go about their business because the top order against Chennai the other night were poor. I thought they didn't really come out with any kind of intent. They looked like they were a bit low in confidence. Whether Ishan Kishan at number 4 might just kind of bring them a bit of life, but you kind of just look at that Mumbai batting against Hyderabad. They've just not quite got going, but it's probably because of the Sunrisers bowling attack.
Also, that match, if you remember, the 24th of April, they got out for 120 odd. And they said, wow, finally they've got the Sunrisers where they want them, and then they knocked them over for 87. Bhuvi was brilliant. So that was the match that really, busted, what the Mumbai Indians' chance last year. So it's not just a bogey team, it's a team that's probably broken their spirit last year. So
spoiled a birthday celebration.
Yes, yeah.
But
24th of April is Sachin's birthday. So
there was a huge cake. I mean, he still cut the cake. But I remember all the build-up was finally, the Sunrisers Hyderabad will be dethroned. What a way for Sachin to celebrate his birthday. And then, of course, he had to cut it with not a big smile on his face.
But they can't rely on that engine room. Hardik Pandya and Pollard got them out of trouble just the other night. So that top order really does need to fire. They can fire with that engine room firing, as we've seen. They could be in for a big score, but it's all about how they played Nabi. Nabi's been outstanding in the 2 games that he's played. Those sliders, that little bit of variation, the nous and the real experience that he's got in T20 cricket. Then you've got Rashid Khan. They've got a wonderful bowling attack, and they'll be very well led with Bhubaneswar swinging it around as well. So you're kind of looking at that and thinking 160, 170 will be something around what they're trying to look to get. But that attack and that team will make it very, very difficult for them to do so.
Just looks so settled when you look at it each day. The 2 men at the top out there, and the 2 Rashid Khan and Mohammad Nabi, the 2 Afghan players. So just the 4 of them, for Shakib Al Hasan not getting a look in at all.
Expect them to target early, expect them to target Sandeep Sharma, because word is in the circuit that early on he likes to swing the ball. If you step up to him, if you walk into him, his length can get a bit upset, because if you look at the others, they're all very seasoned customers. Okay, Bhuvi's not having the greatest match, but last match he just came back, looked much better against Delhi. They will have to target someone, because look, Rashid Khan and Nabi are going to stymie your run rate. So you've got to go after someone and make up for it, and I think Sandeep Sharma is the man.
Yes, certainly. Now, the start of this double-header, we told you that 3 out of the 4 teams playing today are between positions 1 and 4. Now, what's changed? One thing's changed for sure. The men in yellow have leapfrogged to the very top with 8 points. The Kings 11 Punjab remain in the top 4, but with 6 points, but a chance here for Hyderabad to further strengthen it. We know if they go on top, they will be on top because of that fabulous net run rate of theirs. Mumbai desperate to try and get inside there. Maybe they won't with their net run rate. They may not quite make the top 4, will they? Actually, they probably will if they get the 2 points here. Yeah, it just means that if Mumbai win, it's going to be a 5-way contest and make it very, very spicy at the top.
Yeah. I think teams like Delhi, Rajasthan, they'll be hoping for a Sunrisers win. So 2 kind of go away and win a few, and they all create a gap, and then it's for 3rd and 4th, and there'll be a group of 4 probably playing for that 3rd and 4th spot. So
notice we haven't even talked about who Bangalore are hoping for. They won't care anymore.
They'll be on the holidays in about a week.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about the kind of points that you really need at the end of a season, and 14 is
16
really
makes it sure.
16 makes it sure.
14 is on the cusp.
14 is on the cusp.
14, you need 2 teams to run away with it, then 14 is a good chance.
Even for them to get 14 from now, it means 7 out of 9.
Yeah, 7 out of 9.
Still a chance.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still a chance, you never
know. The fact
know.
he's clearing a throat.
Your friend Virat will say 7 out of 9, no problem.
Absolutely.
Just to prove Michael wrong. Just to prove Michael wrong. I'm the captain, I'm the best captain.
Like the way what you 2 are doing. You're kind of pointing the finger that I've completely thrown under the bus. Just trying to give him some advice. That's all. He knows I'm his biggest fan. I mean, I tweet enough about Virat Kohli.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely.
His captaincy just needs a tinker here or there out in the middle.
We're not throwing you under the bus, we're throwing you under the tuk-tuk. It's a lot safer. It's a lot safer. Your favourite mode of transport in Mumbai?
Tuk-tuk.
Yeah.
Throw me under the tuk-tuk. There isn't any. I need to go to a different part
of
town.
Yeah, you're in.
I know, not in the posh part of town, Michael.
I need some tuk-tuks. Deliver some.
You'll get a lot in Jaipur.
Oh, thank you.
All right, Michael, but like we haven't picked on you enough, here's your chance finally now to finish Saturday on a good note and get that score right as far as Mumbai are concerned. Would you like first go, or you want to go third? You will give you the choice.
No, I'll go first. I'll go first. I'm going to say 165 again.
165 again? Consistency.
155.
Oh, you're going lower. Oh, Ishan Kishan's in the team. They don't like him very much. I'm going to plumb for, the last time I plumbed for a player, he got a duck, which is Mayank Agarwal. But I'm going to go for the bottle flipper to hit a few big sixes, and for the entire attack to be sort of rounded off by the Pandya brothers, a bit from Pollard, and it's all going to add up to a lot more than these gentlemen said. So I'm going 181. 181. I'm going higher. I'm going to keep that Hyderabad, the Hyderabad run fest, the biryani run fest alive.
You have to fancy that whatever they get, Warner and Best will knock them off.
Fair enough.
That's absolute.
That's for later in the night. That's for after midnight for us to chat about.
That's for tomorrow.
Yeah, that's for tomorrow. For now, we'll just stick to what's happening here. It's the Chennai Super Kings have gone top with a victory over the Kings 11 Punjab, and we're looking forward to what's happening in Hyderabad. It's the Sunrisers who will be bowling first against the Mumbai Indians. We'll be back in the 10th over with Cricbuzz Combox, and then after that, MPL presents Cricbuzz Live.